I rise to make two statements. The first statement, Mr. Speaker, I do so in my capacity as Minister of Finance, and it relates to the discounted VAT day of December 18th. I make this statement, of course, in keeping with our commitment as a government to greater standards of transparency and accountability in public affairs. Mr. Speaker, the discounted VAT rate day on December 18th represented the fifth consecutive discounted VAT rate day in the Federation's history. And the underlying aim is to foster consumer spending within the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and partner with our stakeholders in the business community to enhance the business environment. Mr. Speaker, the information is that many consumers and businesses would utilize this day as an opportunity to purchase bigger ticket items, for example, vehicles, construction materials, furniture, and appliances. The total sales recorded on the discounted VAT days in the history, the 5-year history to which I refer, is as follows. In 2011, VAT day would be recorded as the 22nd of December, and there was a 7% VAT applicable under purchases for that day. And the records reflect $13 million of sales. In 2012, there were two VAT days, on the 14th and the 20th of December. The reduced VAT applicable then was 5%, and $26 million is the recorded total sales. In 2013, two VAT days, and the records would reflect at the reduced VAT rate of 5%, there were total sales at $37 million. In 2014, two VAT days, the 12th and the 19th, cumulatively, they yielded $40 million in total sales. And the 2015, one VAT day, and it has recorded so far just under $41 million. The Inland Revenue Department has said that there are still outstanding sales information that are to be submitted to the department by the business entities approved for participation. The information, therefore, as it is now, indicates 2015 to be the best VAT day of record. And we are happy to report that. Because, Mr. Speaker, it shows that even in cases where there were two VAT days, they never amass as well as we have done in a single VAT day. And so this is important. It speaks to the vibrancy within the economy, and it speaks to the fact that the able fiscal management of the country by the Team Unity administration. In addition to this, Mr. Speaker, it is important to relate that there were 83 businesses who participated in the reduced VAT day. 23 of these entities reside in Nevis, 60 on the island of St. Kitts. Of the total sales, Mr. Speaker, of just over 40 million recorded to date, just under 11 million occurred on the island of Nevis, 30 million on the island of St. Kitts. It bears repeating that the single VAT day brought sales of the highest and record in the history of the application of the discounted VAT rate. But most importantly, the reduction in VAT means that the government forgoes a portion of the revenue in the expectation that what would be lost in that particular tax category would somehow be recouped through other taxes. For example, that this would reflect itself in the corporate taxes that are to be paid subsequent to this, and that the improved volume of activity that is usually generated at this particular point in the lives of businesses would reflect itself in other spin-off. For example, increased manpower required to deal with the improved volume of business that is being realized on that day. I want to report, Mr. Speaker, that in 2011, the Inland Revenue reports that the government, as a result of the reduced VAT day, had foregone just over $1 million. In 2012, about $3 million. In 2013, $3.8 million. And in 2014, just around $4 million. The way Team Unity does things results in better outcome. And for 2015, the foregone revenue computed by the Inland Revenue Department is $41,000. This is remarkable. We have had the best sales and record in the history of reduced VAT days, and we have saved the country revenues comparative to the other years. And it was achieved in large measure because in the application of the reduced VAT day, we, in relation to, for example, vehicles, we set a threshold of about 75,000, and beyond that, the full VAT had applied. That allowed us, Mr. Speaker, in a sense, to pull back on the foregone revenue, so that there was an improvement in the circumstances of the Treasury as a result of the manner in which we have applied our discounted VAT rate day. The country, Mr. Speaker, could always feel assured that with the Team Unity administration, performance matters, because improved fiscal performance will translate into greater prosperity for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. So we did better than was ever done in the history by any of the critical indicators used to adjudge success. I want, importantly too, to share with the public that in terms of vehicles sold, and we have the data for 2014 and 2015, in 2014, for VAT reduced day, 155 vehicles were sold. And for 2015, 230 vehicles were sold. This is an outstandingly better performance by any measure. In Nevis in 2014, 33 vehicles were sold. And in 2015, under Team Unity administration, that figure jumped to 55, 22 more vehicles, substantially over 60% increase in the number of vehicles being sold. These are all indicators that people have more disposable income and people are able to do more and people are able to put themselves in a position to access loanable funds. This data, Mr. Speaker, on its own speaks positively about what 2015 obtains for the country. Record surplus, record performances, and almost every tax category. And it reflected itself in the fact that in 2015, under Team Unity, we surpassed our budgetary expectations. And by November, 11 months, we had surpassed, at least at the Inland Revenue Department, the total amount that the government had received in 2014. But when you look at the results of that day, and you compare this with the data from the Social Security, which we shared at the last press conference, we showed that we had more people moving from minimum wage category 0 to 3,000 and more. We had less people in that minimum category, more in the middle and upper category. It is an indication that the progress about which Team Unity speak is taking hold in the country of St. Kitts and Nevis. I want to commend all those who participated in this exercise, and we are happy at the results that have been derived so far. This is an indication to the country, again, Mr. Speaker, that Team Unity does it better.
Visit the SKNIS on YouTube to watch informative, exciting, and thought-provoking programs such as Working for You, Current Speeches, SKNIS exclusives, and much more. Hit the subscribe button to be alerted when a new video is uploaded. What are you waiting for? Head to the SKNIS and start exploring.